Alrighty then. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day today. All right. And we'll just wait a few minutes to let people show up here, hopefully. Here I come to save the day. Mighty Mouse is on his way. Here I come to save the day. This Mighty Mouse is here to save. Sometimes some crimes go slipping through the crack, but these two gumshoes are picking up the slack. There's no case too big, no case too small. You need help, just call Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Red and white and blue. Chip and Dale's. Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web and he sighs. Can't you see? Just like flies, look out. There goes a Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen up. He's got radioactive blood. From a swing overhead, take a look overhead. Hey there. There goes the Spider-Man. In the chill of night, at the scene of a crime. Like a streak of light, he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Welcome he is, yeah. Action is his reward to him. Life is a great big hang up. Whenever there's a hang up, you'll find a Spider-Man. We're just waiting for people to come in. Let's see. Let me see now. When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who oppose his shield must yield. In the red and the white and the blue it comes true when Captain America throws his mighty shield. Tony Stark makes you feel he's a cool exec with the hottest wheels as Iron Man. All jets of flame, he fights and fights with repulsor rays. Amazing power, it's Iron Man. Amazing power, it's Iron Man. Doc Bruce Banner, belted by gamma rays, turned into the Hulk. Ain't he just gallantly thrashing the town with a powerful, ain't so monster who isn't lovable, the ever-loving Hulk. Hulk, cross the rainbow bridge of Asgard, where the blue means heaven's roar. And behold, incredulous wonder, the god of thunder, mighty Thor. Let's see. Hello. Stronger than a whale, he can swim anywhere. He can swim underwater and go flying through the air. Noble submariner, prince of the deep, so beware deadly demons. Lord Namor of Atlantis is the prince of the deep. All right, well, we got two people in here now, so I guess we can go ahead and talk about what's on tap for tonight. As I said, I'll be going through something like 6 articles plus, the wrestling roundup. Among those include some anime articles on some upcoming releases, including Chainsaw Man, Fire Force, and they disappeared on me again. Okay, as well as Hunter x Hunter on the comic side of it. We're going to be looking at apparently Z2 Comics, which is owned by Weird Al Yankovic, he's doing a comic. We'll probably be looking at that article. Also, Interpop's got some interesting stuff coming out, and a little bit about the Bob's Burgers movies as well, and along with the wrestling roundup. So, anyways, we're now coming up on 6 minutes, and since I'd already started this, since thinking I had two people in here, we'll go ahead and get started on the articles now. Here we go. Let me share the screen here. Hopefully people will show up soon. Yeah, I did just do a stream with RJ a few minutes ago where just looking back on what happened on the day of his birth niche wise. So found out a few things. So anyways, let's get into this then. All right, so here we go. Fire Force anime announces third season and new mobile game. Article by Nerdigams, published yesterday. Among last week's bevy of anime announcements, Weekly Shonen Magazine has announced that both a third season of the Fire Force anime, Enen no Shobotai, and a completely original video game are now in production. There's I guess, of course, circa at Tsuchi Okubo, Kodansha Special Fire Force Video Public Relations section. Okay. Created by Soul Eater mangaka Atsushi Okubo and serialized in the Kodansha publication from September 2015 to February 2022, which was earlier this year, obviously, that it ended. Fire Force presents a world where spontaneous human combustion regularly threatens to either turn citizens of Tokyo into living creatures made of flames, known as infernals, or grant them pyrokinetic powers. In response to these increasing incidents of random immolation, Tokyo I think that's supposed to be creates the Fire Force, a special brigade created to specifically combat the infernals whose members possess such fire manipulation powers themselves. Yeah, I think this writer in particular needed to probably go and do a quick spell check. Anyways, here's a portion of the manga. Oh, look at that. Fire Force Volume 1 from 2016, right there. Among these Fire Force members is Shinra Kusakabe, a young boy whose ability allows him to set his feet alight in order to use the flames for combat or fast transportation. I guess it gives a new meaning to the word hotfoot, huh? And whose effects have left Shinra with the nickname Devil's Footprints. Joining Special Fire Force Company 8, Shinra and his brigade teammates soon find themselves wrapped in a mystery relating to both his mother's murder and the rise in infernal appearances and a mysterious cult. Let's see, Fire Force Chapter 7, The Devil and the Joker, 2016. Let's see. Weekly Shonen magazine revealed the development of these two new Fire Force projects on May 16th, announcing through their official Twitter account that Flame Firefighters Season 3 will be produced, as well as a completely new original game adaptation, quote unquote. Translated. Developed by Japanese developer Mobcast, whose previous credits include the Kingdom Ran and Puella Magi Madoka Magica mobile games. The video game will be titled Fire Force Flame Dance and is set to release for both iOS and Android. Though no gameplay details were revealed, the Fire Force production team revealed that Mrs. Green Apple, who provided the anime's first opening theme, Inferno, will provide the original theme song for the game. Is Mrs. Green Apple the name of a band or a singer or something like that? Finally, the announcement concluded with the further reveal that the series will hold an online exhibition to honor the manga's completion, which, quote, will display a variety of original drawings from the original manga, allowing visitors to enjoy the world of the work in all its glory, unquote. As per the Fire Force team, the event will be held, quote, from June 17th, Friday, to July 17th, Sunday, 2022. Okay. Basically a straight month. Are you excited for the return of the Fire Force anime? How do you think it will adapt the events of the manga? Let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments down below. Never really got into it myself, but okay, I'm still the only one here, huh? La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. All right, so here's the next article we'll look at. Let's see. Hunter x Hunter mangaka Yoshihiro Togashi announced his series return after 40-year hiatus. Article by Nerdigans Inc. published yesterday. Hunter x Hunter fans rejoice. After nearly 4 years, mangaka Yoshihiro Togashi has officially announced the return of his popular shonen series. There's Gon and a frog. Probably from number 1 there. On May 23rd, roughly 1,275 days since the November 26, 2018 publication of the series' last chapter, Togashi not only created a Twitter account, but used his first tweet to announce the return of Hunter x Hunter. Sharing a corner shot of an in-progress page, Togashi tweeted, quote, 4 more chapters for the time being. So there it is right there. Hard at work, isn't he? Many were skeptical that the newly created account and its debut tweet were authentic. But One Punch Man and iShield 21 mangaka Yusuke Murata confirmed on Twitter, translated by Deepel, that he and his fellow Jump creators had been, quote, told that it was the person himself, unquote. Shueisha themselves would later verify that the account did indeed belong to Togashi. Notably, in less than 24 hours since being created, Togashi's Twitter account has hit 1.1 million followers. Well, that's good considering that Hunter x Hunter is another great. Well, I've seen both versions of anime. I kind of like the first anime, the '99 version, better. I just kind of wish they'd gone more into it in the '99 version. But but it's still a pretty good series overall. The underlying story and all that. I'm curious about something here. Yeah, it's 56. Okay. All right. Anyways, as we continue on here. Right before taking his most recent hiatus, Hunter x Hunter ended on Chapter 390, Clash, Part 1, as a new resistance war with the Mafia was beginning to brew amidst the ongoing succession war. Excuse me. Oh, that looks like Karapika right there. It is Karapika. He's got the chains on him. Now sporting I guess in the manga, now sporting more of a business suit as opposed to his garb from earlier in the series. After a brief consultation with when Prince Zhongli, the chapter finds Shiyu, family boss Onior and Hinrai discuss the recent moves by the Hale Lee family to massacre the underlines. I believe it's supposed to be underlings of both the Shiyu and the Cha'ar family, declaring that their priorities have changed. Onior gives Hinrai the order to expand their search for Hisoka Moro. Yeah, the psychotic killer. Yeah, who they need to control the spider to tier 3 of the black whale's hull. Addition, he gives the order to kill Morena Prudo, the boss Haley family, boss of the Haley family, I believe is stay there. In service of this mission, Henry enlists Lynch and Zakuro. Quote, the resistance begins, unquote, he tells them. Quote, we're going to crush the Hale Lee family, unquote. Lynch and Zakuro then begin to confront various members of the Hale Lee family. In doing so, they discover that their members are registered as civilians in the Black Whale, rather than as official mafia members. Quote, this has nothing to do with turf or income, unquote, realizes Hinrai. quote, they just wanted a fight from the very start on out all out killing spree, unquote. Hey, you got some psychotic people there, don't you? Among fans, Hunter x Hunter has grown to be referred to as hiatus. And though that seems harsh, the colloquial title is not unwarranted. Hello, you fool, I love you. You wanna join the joyride? Join the joyride. Anyways, due to Togashi's poor health, the series is in a constant state of choppy release schedules. Hiatus, a fan developed tracker which records Hunter x Hunter's hiatus history, paints a very interesting picture. Hiatus. Oh, I mean, if he's in poor health, it's understandable because, you know, he's in poor health. Maybe he's had to take some extended times off to recoup, whatever his illness is. I'm not even sure what did they ever disclose what his health issues are. I wonder. See if I can find that. Hmm. It doesn't say here what his illnesses are. Oh, this guy was also did Yu Yu Hakusho too. That's cool. Hunter. Both very good animes as well. All right, oh, we got two people. Hello, second person. Hopefully, you'll enjoy the content here. Okay, as per her findings, since the start of Hunter x Hunter's serialization in 1998, Togashi's all time record for consecutive publication is 30 issues. This current hiatus stands as his longest, with 161 Shonen Jump issues published since the release of Hunter x Hunter's last chapter. Streak of total issues with 161 last chapter being released on November 26, 2018. So he's been gone for almost like 3.5 years here, it would seem like. However, these delays are not the result of Togashi's work ethic, but rather his own personal well being. Togashi has a long history of health problems, which he has documented over the years in his author comments given to Shonen Jump. And there's Kahlua Zodit right there. And he's got himself a little doggy. Look at that. Manga Crave has translated and archived all of Togashi's Shonen Jump author comments for Hunter x Hunter, and suffice to say, some of them paint a sad situation. In the Shonen Jump issue 48, 2001, featuring Hunter x Hunter chapter 132, Togashi noted, quote, I noticed that getting up together with my child is so painful that it's better not to sleep at all. Problem is when to sleep, unquote. Here's some chibi artwork of Kahlua and one of his younger siblings. Quote, I notice that my body is getting stiffer and I cannot sit down on the ground, unquote. He wrote in his author comments for Shonen Jump issue 43, 2011. Wonder if he's developing some kind of degenerative neurological disorder, something like Parkinson's or something like that. Just based on those two comments, that's what would likely think the problem would be. Anyways, continuing on here. Returning from another break, the mangaka would tell readers in Shonen Jump issue 12, 2012, chapter 336, quote, infected with flu and tenosinovitis co-occurred because of joint pain. It's good to be able to write. Oh. And the dude suffers through his work, doesn't he? There's Karapika. Let's see. After another hiatus, this one a year and a half long, Gashi apologized to readers in Shonen Jump issue 27, 2014, chapter 341, lamenting, quote, I'm so sorry to have kept you waiting for so long. I'm not feeling very well, but I'll do my best somehow. At least the guy is trying to stick it through as best he can. There's Karapika again. Returning from the subsequent 86-week hiatus, Togashi recalled in Shonen Jump issue 20, 2016, chapter 350, happy to be able to sit on a toilet seat or a chair with my body when my body was in pain and I was bedridden. I couldn't even a word that rhymes with sit. Let's put it that way. There's some more chibi drawings of our original main cast of Gon, Kurapika, Kahlua, and Leorio. Quote, bedridden, crawling, type 3, baby crawling. Holding on to something to stand and went to hospital in the end, unquote. Said in Shonen Jump issue 2122, 2016, chapter 351. Manga Crave notes that crawling type 3 is one of 5 crawling postures featured in Japan's self-defense forces training. There's Leorio, Karapika, and Gon in chapter 2. Just one issue later, Togashi informed fans in Shonen Jump issue 23, 2016, chapter 352, that, quote, the bitterness of lower back pain is that you can only go to hospital after recovering to some extent, unquote. Whoa, that's a little more scary. But when in the 10th level of pain out of 10, I couldn't move my body for even 1 centimeter all night. He admitted in Shonen Jump, issue 24, 2016, chapter 353. And I believe it's Ging, Gon's father. Similarly, the mangaka would recount in Shonen Jump 29, 2016, chapter 358, quote, I could draw in the prone position in my 20s, but now I can't because of the stiffness of my body. Here's some artwork with Hisoka and Chrollo Lucifer. Reassuring fans of his dedication to the series, Togashi asserted Shonen Jump issue 52, 2018, chapter 390. That was his last entry, as it were. Quote, since the names, storyboards, of the next 10 weeks are ready, I will proceed with the manuscript while consulting with my physical condition and situation, unquote. And there's some chibi characters of um, of the spiders, as it were. Are you excited for the Hunter x Hunter's return? Do you think only 4 chapters being confirmed is any cause for concern? Let us know your thoughts on social. Well, if he's been having a situation where it sounds like based on what he's describing, he almost sounds like he might be having some form of degenerative neurological condition, which I would think it would be of some concern because if that is the case, it would most likely mean that at some point he might have to end the series. Um, he might be forced to end the series because of his health. That's just my educated guess on it. Uh, uh, excuse me there. Anyways, let's see. All right, and here's the next article we're going to look at here. Chainsaw Man editor gives update on part 2, announces physical release of Tatsuki Fujimoto one-shot Goodbye Eri. Article by Nerdigans Inc., published earlier today. last week, hot on the heels of Crunchyroll's confirmation that they will be streaming the anime adaptation of the best-selling manga, Shueisha provided both an update on the second part of Tatsuki Fujimoto's Chainsaw Man and announced plans for a physical release of the mangaka's Goodbye Eri one shot. In the public. I love Chainsaw. Hmm. Serialized in Shueisha's Weekly Shonen Jump from December 2018 to December 2020, the first part of Fujimoto's Chainsaw Man, known as a public safety arc, introduced readers to Denji, a young cash-strapped man who hunts down evil creatures known as devils on behalf of the Yakuza in order to alleviate his debts. Fighting alongside his pet devil Pochita, Denji um, soon finds himself betrayed by the criminal organization Left for Dead. Desperate to survive in the aftermath of this betrayal, Denji merges with Pochita, in the process gaining the ability to generate chainsaws from his body, an ability he soon uses to enact revenge on the Yakuza. In the aftermath of his retribution, Denji is approached by the Public Safety Division, a government group tasked with hunting down devils, who offer him a stable life in exchange for his help in taking down the Gun Devil, whose actions were responsible for the single greatest mass death event in human history. Last December, at the Chainsaw Man Super Stage panel held during Jump Festa 2022 event, alongside the reveal that the series would be receiving an anime adaptation, it was announced that the second part of the Chainsaw Man manga would begin serialization in Jump Plus this summer. According to Fujimoto's editor, Shihei Lin, as per a video message reviewed by Oricon, the series' second part will feature a story centered on the concept of quote unquote Denji goes to school. Let's see. Though new information regarding Chainsaw Man's return has been has return has been since been sparse. A March 20th recruitment post from Lynn confirmed a rough timeline for the second part's production, seeking applicants, quote, for a new serialization assistant for Tatsuki Fujimoto, who is preparing to serialize, in small quotes, Chainsaw Man with Jump Plus, unquote. Lean revealed that quote the writing of the series is scheduled to start around April 2022, unquote, noting that quote the assistant will start around April next year as well, unquote. I will probably just pass that already. There he is. Not only did Lean um, provide this rough timeline for the start of Chainsaw Man Part 2's production, but he has also since announced that Fujimoto's popular Goodbye Eri one-shot will be receiving a physical release, unquote, on July the 4th. Quote, "We will notify you when it gets closer," unquote. He added, before providing another, albeit brief, update to Fujimoto's upcoming Chainsaw Man continuation. Quote, "The second part of Chainsaw Man," in smaller quotes, "is under construction," unquote. Lean continued. Quote, "I hope you can wait a little longer," unquote. Released in April 2022, the 200-page Goodbye Eri is detailed by Shueisha, tells the story of Yuta, who, quote, with his mother dying, attempts to capture her last days on the phone, unquote. Quote, after her death, unquote, the publisher continued, quote, Yuta heads to the roof of the hospital to commit suicide, but a meeting with a strange girl leads him on the path to making a movie, unquote. Goodbye Eri is the second one-shot by Fujimoto to receive a hard copy release, following the physical publication of the controversial Look Back last September. Telling the heartbreaking tale of two young middle school students whose dreams of becoming mangaka are eventually derailed by tragedy, the one-shot manga was edited after it was released, following an outcry of backlash from Japanese fans over their perceptions that the story provided a negative depiction of mental health, unquote. As of writing, an English release of Goodbye Eri has not yet been confirmed. What are your thoughts on the latest updates for Chainsaw Man Part 2 and Goodbye Eri? Do you think Goodbye Eri will get a physical release? US, let us know your thoughts on, well, maybe, we don't know, but anyways, as we get ready to move on so that's all of the anime articles we're done with. Hello. Welcome to the stream. We'll be getting to probably be getting to the comics portion of the news cycle here in a moment. And before we do that, I'll be right back as I need to step away from the computer for a moment. But while I'm away, I'll leave some music for you guys to listen to. I'm gone. All right, I'm back. So let's get ready to get into this next article here. All righty then. So here's the next article we're going to look at in regards to. So Al Yankovic penned his own incredibly weird graphic novel, and we have exclusive art from it. So, as in Weird Al Yankovic. Z2 Comics, Weird Al Yankovic, and a number of artists team up to release the Illustrated Al, the songs of Weird Al Yankovic um, graphic novel. Article by Brandon Schwer, published 10 hours ago. There's the comic adaptation right there. Just eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. Don't you just go and stuff it, eat it. Let's see. Weird Al Yankovic is teaming with Z2 Comics to publish The Illustrated Al, the songs of Weird Al Yankovic, a new graphic novel illustrating some of the artist's weirdest Yankovisions, quote unquote. CBR can exclusively debut exclusive art created by Danny Hellman, featured in a wax pack of collector's cards that come with the purchase of deluxe editions of the Illustrated Al, the songs of Weird Al Yankovic. The graphic novel is written by Yankovic and others, um, and offers fans a visual look into some of the artist's most iconic parody songs. Artists involved with the project include Drew Friedman from Mad Magazine, Mike and Laura Allred from Mad Men and the Excellent, Bill Plimpton, Your Face, Guard Dog, Aaron Augenblick, Super Jail, Ugly Americans, um, Peter Bag, Hate, Sam Viviano, Mad Magazine, Steve Chanks, Revolver Magazine, Hellman, Village Voice, Hellman himself, I guess, Felipe Sobriero, Luther Strode, Death Said, Gideon Kendall from Mega Ghost, Michael Kupperman, Up All Night, The New Yorker, Wes Hargis, My New Teacher and Me, When I Grow Up, Ruben Bowling, Tom the Dancing Bug and Super Fun Pack Comics, Fred Harper, The New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and more. The Illustrated Al, the songs of Weird Al Yankovic, also contains a custom print set from Jesse Phillips and a forward but from comedian Emo Phillips, who is currently opening for Yankovic on his 133 show tour through North America. The Illustrated Al, the songs of Weird Al Yankovic, comes in softcover, hardcover, oversized hardcover deluxe, and oversized hardcover deluxe hand signed editions. Cover art comes from Friedman and Mike and Laura Allred, um, along with the wax pack of collector's cards deluxe editions also include a three-piece art print set from Jesse Phillips, a vinyl slip mat, and drink coaster. The Super Deluxe Edition additionally includes Al signed books and a Weird Al Yankovic branded mini accordion. Quote, "It's such an incredible honor to see my song lyrics brought to life by some of my all-time favorite cartoonists and illustrators," unquote, Yankovic said of the graphic novel. Quote, "I've actually been playing the long game. The only reason I spent 4 decades in the music business is so that one day I could have my own graphic novel," unquote. Wow. Wow. That's interesting, to say the least. Wow. So he got into music in order to someday write a graphic novel. That's something else. Hmm. Quote, "I don't remember a time in my life before Weird Al Yankovic, and frankly, I don't want to. His music, lyrics, artistry, and humor have been a constant influence in my career," unquote. Project editor and Z2 Comics chief business officer Josh Bernstein added, quote, "Having Z2 assemble this all-star roster of the greatest living cartoonists to collaborate with Weird Al Yankovic has been a dream come true. I hope both new and longtime Al fanatics um, appreciate the love, care, and insane art that is going into this project. As always, we dare to be stupid." Now, for those of you who don't know, "Dare to Be Stupid" was a Weird Al Yankovic song that was actually used in the Transformers the movie back in 1986. It was a movie. It was the song that they used to introduce the Junkions in. Dare to be stupid, dare to be stupid. It's all right now. Dare to be stupid, dare to be stupid. Yankovic is the biggest selling comedy recording artist of all time, achieving fame with his 1979 My Baloney parody of the My Bologna parody of the Knack's My Sharona, quote unquote. He's gone on to sell over 12 million albums across his career with 5 Grammy Awards. Mandatory Fun, Yankovic's 2014 album release, was the first comedy album in history to debut at #1 on Billboard's Top 200. Yankovic will also be featured in the upcoming Weird, the Al Yankovic Story, a new biopic directed by Eric Apple. I know RJ mentioned this to me the other day too, when I mentioned this about, or actually, I might have mentioned it earlier on his stream when we were kind of talking about that. Let's see. Promises to reveal every facet of Yankovic's life. Daniel Radcliffe will play the titular character. Wow! A weird. Wow! Daniel Radcliffe, the guy who the guy who plays the eponymous Harry Potter in the Harry Potter franchise. Think about this. So they're getting Harry Potter to portray Weird Al Yankovic. Talk about quite a difference in roles there. That's one way to get out of the whole typecast problem. Just go with something drastically against what you're known for. Wow. Well, Evan Rachel Wood, um, Rain Wilson, and Julianne Nicholson, um, also star in the film. Oh, there we go. There we go with that one. Got one more in the comics section here. Exclusive. The Emergence universe expands with Zoe MG's second season and spin-off series. CBR can exclusively announce Interpop's Emergence universe is expanding with a second season um, of Zoe MG and a new spin-off series, The Rejects. The article by Brandon Schwer, published 7 hours ago. Interpop's superpowered Emergence universe is expanding with a second season of Zoe MG launching this fall and a new spin-off series, The Rejects, coming in July. CBR can exclusively reveal that following the first 6 issues of Zoe MG of hashtag Zoe MG, the series will return for a second season from the best-selling author Danielle Page, Dorothy Must Die, Mara Tidebreaker, artist PJ Kiowa, Carnivora, colorist Yemi Laud, and letterer Sal Cipriano. The series is set within the Emergence universe and follows the city of Cultervon's #1 internet influencer, who is equipped with emoji-based mind control powers as she encounters other social media stars, superheroes, cult leaders, murderous clowns, robots, and more. CBR also has an exclusive look at the early art for The Rejects #1, which is also set in the Emergence universe and can be viewed below. Quote, writing hashtag ZoeMG has been such a comic dream come true, unquote, Page said. Quote, PJ Kiowa's beautiful art and Yemi Laud's credible colors brought her to life, and Sal Cipriano's gorgeous letters gave her a voice. Special thanks to Interpop for bringing me into their universe. I cannot wait for you to see what Zoe does in season 2 when saving the world gets a little more complicated, unquote. Oh, younger heroes often are the best leads because they're vulnerable and relatable, unquote. Agreed Interpop's Emergence editor Rachel Gluckstern. Quote, after all her amazing and successful YA work, young adult work, I think it's safe to say that no one understands this world better than Danielle Page. And PJ Kiowa, one of my favorite new artist finds ever, thanks to his amazing team, hashtag ZoeMG has been such a fresh and contemporary take on the superpowered team. Interpop announced The Rejects, co-written by Alex Segura and Chantel Aime, Aime Osman, with art by Adrian Gutierrez, will launch on July the 6th. Quote, The Rejects focuses on a group of at-risk emergent youth who band together while struggling for acceptance even in a city where emergents live fully integrated among its residents. Quote, the publisher said of the series, quote, now with ZoeMG's angry twin brother, Makeshift, taking over the leadership of the Rejects, their open door policy is about to get seriously tested, unquote. Interpop's emergence universe is an interactive experience for fans, those who have digital ownership of issues, have the ability to make decisions determining the future of characters, costumes, and storylines in forthcoming um, hashtag ZoeMG and the Rejects releases through online voting. Hashtag ZoeMG will return this fall. Interpop also announced recently launched a new Emergence Universe series, The Abyss, which comes from writer John Rossum, artist Cliff Richards, colorist Chris Sotomayor, and letterer Carlos Mangual, with variant covers by Lucas Meyer and Jason Masters. The first issue is currently available to read on Interpop Comics. First 6 issues of hashtag ZoeMG are currently free to read on interpopcomics.com. Oh, there we go with that one. So, I believe that was the last of those articles. Now we have an animation article to go through. There you go. There it is. All right, so here we go. All right, so here we go with this. This will be the last article we read, and then I do have some other news items to go over with. Already past the hour mark, so good to see. All right, so the Bob's Burgers movie cooks up near perfect early reviews. The Bob's Burgers movie's Rotten Tomatoes score bodes very well for the upcoming animated feature based on the fan favorite animated series. This is, of course, one of the Adult Swim series on Cartoon Network. Article by Noah Dominguez, published 20 hours ago. Early reviews for the Bob's Burgers movie suggest fans of the original animated series will be very satisfied with the Belcher family's big screen debut. At the time of writing, the Bob's Burgers movie has an approval rating of 93% on the review aggregate site Rotten Tomatoes, having previously sat at 95% and at one point even 96%. Of the 43 counted reviews, 40 consider the film to be quote unquote fresh, while only 3 reviews consider it quote unquote rotten. Hmm. Quote, the Bob's Burgers movie feels very much like the quirky show, just on a supersized scale, which is all it needed to be, unquote, wrote Lindsay Barr um, of the Associated Press. Similarly, Rachel Leishman of the Mary Sue wrote, quote, the movie just feels like an extended episode in the best of ways. Doesn't drag or ever feel like this could have just been an episode. It worked as a movie and will hopefully bring more audience members into the show, unquote. In his official review of the film, CBR's own Brandon Zachary wrote, quote, the Bob's Burgers movie will leave audiences grinning ear to ear, um, with infectious songs stuck in their heads and a soft spot in their heart. It's just a fun, nice film that doesn't take itself too seriously, but never cheapens the characters in the process. That said, the film's reception among critics is not unanimously glowing. Quote, scattered laughs and lovable characters can't entirely save a confused narrative structure and a bloated runtime, unquote, wrote Robert Kodger of Flickering Myth. Well, you're always gonna have a few, at least a handful of people who don't like something. That's just life. Not everything is for everyone. Meanwhile, Soleil Ho of the San Francisco Chronicle wrote, quote, I wanted to love the Bob's Burgers movie, but it truly tested my faith as a fan of the long-running sitcom, unquote. Following its premiere at the El Capitan um, Theater in Hollywood on May 17th, so let's see, that's like a little over a week ago yesterday. The Bob's Burger movie is set to release in cinemas across the United States this Friday, May 27th. So a couple days away here. The film is based on Lauren Bochard's fan favorite animated sitcom Bob's Burgers, which premiered on Fox in January 2011. To date, the show has aired 238 episodes, having concluded its 12th season just a few days ago on March 22nd. That would have been on Sunday, I believe. The Bob's Burgers movie is the second theatrically released feature film based on an animated Fox sitcom following 2007's The Simpsons movie. A full official synopsis for Bob's Burgers movie reads as follows. Quote, Bob's Burgers movie is an animated big screen musical comedy mystery adventure based on the long-running Emmy winning series. The story begins when a ruptured water main creates an enormous sinkhole right in front of Bob's Burgers, blocking the entrance indefinitely and ruining the Belchers' plans for a successful summer. While Bob and Linda struggle to keep the business afloat, the kids try to solve the mystery that could save their family's restaurant. As the dangers mount, these underdogs help each other find hope and fight to get back behind the counter where they belong. Unquote. The Bob's Burgers movie flips into theaters on May 27th. So there we go. That's all the articles we have for you tonight. We still do have some news items here, as it were. Close that out a bit. Let's see. Anyway, so we're at an hour 14. So there's still of course, a couple pieces of niche. Now we'll get into the wrestling portion of it. So we'll go around the wrestling world a bit. We got some news from WWE, AEW, and NWA. So on the WWE side of things, it looks like one of the big things they're talking about, aside from the Naomi, nothing new on the Naomi Sasha Banks situation, just that they're going to plan on continuing to bury them. But in other news, it looks like the WWE may be considering ending the brand split. As there's been a lot talked about how it seems like one show, Raw, is getting like all the talent, whereas SmackDown is getting a lot of the manure. They point to some of the evidence, including the unification of both the Universal and Universal WWE titles, as well as the tag titles being unified. Personally, I think ending the brand split is a good idea. Now, granted, the individual shows, the TV station that cover them, USA for Raw and Fox for SmackDown, are not too keen on the idea. They like having their own WWE rosters, as it were. But it may be time for WWE to end the brand split, maybe shear down the rosters a bit, not just in terms of ending the brand split, but maybe even getting rid of some people. AEW's been pretty successful, and you got Impact and NWA, while they're still doing okay for what they're doing, they're not as big a competitor. But the internet streaming has helped those companies still keep up, as it were. But but basically that's the big news coming out of the WWE right now. Actually, there was another news story too, where they alluded back to some issues they've had over the years with fans stalking WWE stars, and in the latest twist in that angle, Alexa Bliss has apparently become the latest target of that, as her and her husband Ryan Cabrera have been threatened by a fan for some unknown reason. Apparently, a fan has decided that he would like to end the life of Miss Bliss and her husband Ryan Cabrera. Nobody knows why, but the fan was just really seems kind of disturbed. So that's all the WWE news we have for you. So moving on to AEW right now, of course, Dynamite's going on. And it's all leading into this Sunday's. Hey, Chad. Hey, Chad. I see you there. Kind of late, aren't you? Thank you for the like and share. Yeah. But anyways, going back to AEW. This Sunday, of course, is their pay-per-view, Double or Nothing. Tonight actually marked the 3-year anniversary of AEW when they first debuted 3 years ago tonight. Tonight had several matches. So going into this Sunday's pay-per-view for Double or Nothing for AEW, the main event, you're going to see AEW World Champion Adam Page defending his title against CM Punk. The tag titles will be on the line in a 3-way match as the champions Lucha Express, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy defending against the two teams of representing Team Taz, Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, and the other team involved in that match in that match is Limitless Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. I thought CM Punk was back in the. No, you're thinking of Cody. You're actually thinking of Cody with that one. I didn't realize AEW was 3 years old now. Yeah, Chad, you're probably thinking of Cody Rhodes. He's the one who just recently returned to the WWE. I know in some ways, I guess you could confuse the two of them because they do look a lot alike. They're both 6'2". They're both fairly skinny, and they both have black hair. So the only difference is I think CM Punk has more tattoos. But yeah, CM Punk is going after the AEW World Championship. Also, for the women's title, Thunder Rosa will be defending against Serena Deeb. And Jade Cargill will be defending the TBS Championship against Anna Jay. Also, some other matches that have also been going. The finals of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, both the men's and the women's finals will be at Double or Nothing. Adam Cole is already in the finals match tonight. The other participant in the final will be determined as Samoa Joe takes on Kyle O'Reilly at Dynamite. And then the women's final will be tonight you'll have one semifinal women's match, Dr. Britt Baker versus Toni Storm, and then on Friday's Rampage, that will be Ruby Soho taking on Chris Statlander for the other women's. Yeah, I think I got confused. Yeah. So the finals for that, then you also have on the card, if Wardlow ends up succeeding in his cage match against Shawn Spears tonight with MJF refereeing, then he'll have his match with MJF at the pay-per-view this Sunday. Wardlow was originally brought in as a bodyguard for MJF to basically cover MJF's butt. And as Wardlow has gained success and popularity, MJF just wasn't having it and trying to keep him from wrestling. MJF had screwed him out of the TNT title that he had, that he'd rightfully earned a shot to. And now, also, let's see, in what is considered a modern day dream match, the Young Bucks are taking on the Hardy Boys. Matt and Nick Jackson are taking on Jeff and Matt Hardy. You also have in a trios match or 6-man tag match, you have members of the House of Black taking on the Death Triangle, and an Anarchy Asylum match. You have the Jericho Appreciation Society, led by Chris Jericho, along with Jake Hager, Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker, taking on 2 members of the Blackpool Combat Club, John Moxley and Bryan Danielson, and as well as and teaming with them are Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. So those are all the matches that are happening now tonight. Of course, on Dynamite, you got, as I said, the two semifinal matches in the tournament. The men's semifinal will determine the other participant. Well, obviously all of them will determine, but we should know what the men's final looks like after tonight. So I will probably be mentioning that tomorrow. Also tonight on Dynamite, you'll see kind of a prelude to the 3-way tag matches. There will be a 3-way singles match between each member, a representative member of each team, in which you have Absolute Ricky Starks taking on Jungle Boy and Swerve Strickland in a 3-way match. It should somewhat mirror the tag team match coming up on Sunday. Let's see. Also, FTR will be defending, or FTR tonight are defending the ROH Tag Team Championships against 2 members of Roppongi Vice. So, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler are taking on Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta of Roppongi Vice, defending their the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Mercedes Martinez had a successful defense of the ROH Women's title on Monday, on Monday's AEW Dark Elevation. Let's see. Also tonight, there's going to be a face-to-face confrontation between Paige and Punk, leading into and then on this Friday's Rampage, of course, as I mentioned earlier, the other semifinal on the women's side, Ruby Soho taking on Chris Statlander. So that's already scheduled for that night. Yeah, they sound like good matches. And we have a little bit of new NWA news. Of course, coming up on Saturday, June the 11th, the NWA will be having its Always Ready pay-per-view. Already signed to the match, of course, they're still working out the details, but it looks like they're going to have Matt Cardona possibly defending the NWA World title against Nick Aldis, and he's not happy about it, needless to say. But one of the other big news stories coming out is the match between former NWA World Heavyweight and National Champion Trevor Murdoch taking on Aaron Stevens, who most fans may remember as Damian Sandow in the WWE. This will most likely be, of course, he's not known as Damian Sandow. His name, is going by the name Aaron Stevens there. That was his original ring name. But Aaron Stevens will be having his last match at Always Ready from what it appears, as he will be retiring after that match with with Trevor Murdoch. Now, some of you probably remember Trevor Murdoch from his time in the back in mid 2000s in the WWE when he teamed up with Lance Cade to win the WWE World Tag Team Championships. So, and then Nick Aldis, known as Magnus in TNA. So that stuff going on in the NWA right now. And of course, I mentioned earlier this week, Homicide had a successful defense of the junior heavyweight title. So that's a lot of what's going on in the news cycle there. Let's see. So with that, it's probably a good time to start winding things unless of course, Chad, unless there's anything you want to bring up or ask about or anything like that. If there's anything, I think it's a good time to start winding down the stream here. Just give you a sec to determine if there's anything you'd like to ask about or hear about. And just to let you know, earlier, I actually was on RJ. I did a stream with RJ earlier. Today is RJ Carter of Critical Blast. It was his birthday today, so we did a stream focusing on on his birthday here, this day in Nietzsche history. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a little more light here, so I'm gonna go off screen for a moment here. I'll leave some music on for you guys for a moment while I kind of take care of the lighting situation here. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. It looks like you did actually have a few things to say there. How it's gone? Let's see. Haven't kept up with the news besides what's trending on Twitter. Um, Today is Star Wars debut, 45 years ago. Yeah, actually, RJ was talking about that as well. He remembers it because as a 10-year-old, he went to watch it when it debuted. So yeah, so that and we talked a lot about like what's going on Saturday mornings. This was that back then. So, anyways, let me just remind myself a few things here. 92 and 97. All right. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead. Cool. So, anyways, without any further ado, well, actually, here's something else that you might find, and I don't know. You came in probably after I finished that article, but Weird Al Yankovic is actually coming out with a graphic novel. So, um, with that, I think it's a good time to start winding things down a bit. We're past the hour and a half mark already. Um, So, without any further, that's awesome. So, with that, today being Wednesday, May 25th, 2022, let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. History! All right, first off, going back 40 years ago today, on this date in 1982, the original Tiger Mask, Satoru Sayama, wins the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship over Les Thornton in Shizuoka, Japan. So, on this date in 1982, the original Tiger Mask would defeat Les Thornton in Japan for the um, for the NWA World Junior Heavyweight title. I believe that's the same title that Homicide is defending right now. So reigning over. So anyway, so there we have that. Moving on to the next piece of Nietzsche history is kind of some sad news here, but this 30 years ago, 30 years ago today. Oops, did I guess I did the wrong one there. All right. On this date, 30 years ago today, Ukrainian American animator Edith Vernick passed away at the age of 86 on this day. She worked for Fleischer Studios in the mid 1920s. It said here that although Lillian Friedman Astor is generally considered the first female American animator, Vernick's employment at the Fleischer Studios preceded Friedman's in the 1920s. So Edith Vernick was probably considered the first female American animator. She passed away on this date back in 1982 at the age of 1992 at the age of 86. So there we go with that one. And let's see. Then moving on to the next piece of Nietzsche history here. Oops. Oh, we kind of a little screwy there, didn't we? All right. So on this date in 1997, AIC would release the Battle Athletes OVA on this date back in 1997, which was 25 years ago today. So 25 years ago today, the AIC produced OVA Battle Athletes would premiere on this date back in 1997. Prior to, of course, the just a few months, just obviously about 3 months prior, or yeah, actually no, a little over 4 months, 4.5 months prior to the anime series Battle Athletes Victory. So the OVA Battle Athletes OVA premiered on this date in 1997. What does AWA mean? You mean NWA? What I was talking about? The NWA is the National Wrestling Alliance. NWA is probably considered the the um the the NWA is considered like the old, one of the oldest wrestling promotions in the world. It's only preceded by CMLL. No, OVA. Oh, OVA. Oh, okay. Oh, an OVA is what they call an original video animation. In other words, it's basically an anime that they wrote an original story for. Most anime, most anime, um, most anime are usually adaptations of manga, which are Japanese comics. Okay, um, the oh, you know, so when you see an anime like Naruto or Bleach or something like that, those are usually adapted, from the manga. You know, an OVA or original video animation is basically they wrote an original story with those characters. So when they say Battle Athletes OVA, it generally means that it was a story that was originally written with those characters that wasn't previously in the manga. That's what OVA stands for. Anyways, we have a third person. Hello, third person. Kind of wrapping things up here, but thank you for dropping in. Okay, thanks for explaining. I didn't know what it stood for. Yeah, no problem. Um. Anyways, we got one last piece of niche history, and then we will probably be finishing up here. As now, on this date in 2011, which was 11 years ago today, Archie Comics, through their digital branch, released the first issue of Archie Marries Betty. So, on this date, 11 years ago today, through their digital branch, Archie Comics would release Archie Marries Betty #1, the debut issue. It sold for $1.99. It was 24 pages. There we go. Alrighty then. So that's it. That's all I have for you tonight. Got up to about an hour 41 here. Let me see. So don't forget that Friday we'll be doing our historical comic retrospect, where I'll be looking at we'll be starting our February 1939 coverage. And don't forget to come back tomorrow night for more niche news and topics and the like. So with that, guys, I thank you guys for being here. And I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.